What is up, guys? Welcome back. Today we were doing our part 4 of our college football predictions. The conference we'll be doing is the Pac-12. Finishing last in the Pac-12 South, I have the Arizona Wildcats. This team is like just straight poverty. I do not see them doing anything this year. I could also see them going 0-12. I could see them losing to North Dakota State, but I'm just going to give them the edge in that game because they are at home in that game. But other than that, I do not expect anything from this team at all. So I got them going 11-1 this year. Finishing 5th in the South, I have Colorado. I do have them starting out the season with a loss to TCU. I could also see them losing at Air Force because Air Force is a pretty good team at home. But their wins will be Air Force, Arizona, and California. Colorado could be a bowl team, but I just don't see it this year. They don't really have the star power there to be able to be that good. So I got them going 3-9, finishing 5th in the South. Coming in at 4th place, I have Arizona State. This team could be a lot better than I have them, but they could also be a lot worse. So I have them chilling at 7-5 right now. I have them starting out the season 2-1, but with a loss at Oklahoma State. They do go on a 3-game losing streak, losing to Utah, USC, Washington. Then they go on a 4-game win streak, beating Stanford, Colorado, UCLA, and Washington State. They end the season on a win against Arizona, but then the week before they lose against Oregon State. But 7-5 is where I have them with a pretty solid bowl game. Finishing 3rd in the South is a team I think could potentially win. I have the UCLA Bruins. I do have them starting the season 7-0, but just like last year, they're going to go downhill towards the end of the season, losing to Stanford and at Arizona State. They will lose to USC as well, but they beat Arizona and Cal. UCLA is a team that can be spoiler to other teams, but could also be a spoiler to themselves because they're going to lose games they shouldn't, but they're going to win games they shouldn't either. Finishing 2nd, I got the USC Trojans. USC had some insane transfers this offseason. I do think that they will struggle with the chemistry, I'd say. But I do have them going 10-2, tied for first, but I do have them losing at Utah this year and then finishing the season with a loss against Notre Dame. I would not be shocked if this team actually does end up going undefeated or even making the playoffs. But just because the lack of chemistry they have right now, that's why I'm going to give them 10-2. I'm also worried on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know how good they will be on that, but the offense seems to be looking fine this year. Finishing 1st in the South, which should come as no shock, I have the Utah Utes. I do have them going 10-2 as well. I do have them losing at Florida week 1, which that's kind of my hot take. I think Florida will be good this year. And at Gainesville, I don't think Utah will be ready for the Gators. Utah normally struggles in the first half of the season. They'll be 4-2 by week 6. Week 6 have them losing against UCLA, but then have them bouncing back, beating USC, in which will be the factor game determining who wins. I do have them finishing the season 6-0, beating USC, Washington State, Arizona, Stanford, winning at Oregon, which is big for them, and then winning at Colorado. So 10-2 for Utah, but I would not be shocked if they do better. Here's a recap of the standings for the South. Finishing 6th at Arizona, going 1-11 and 0-9. Finishing 5th at Colorado, going 3-9 and then 2-7 in the conference. Finishing 4th at Arizona State, going 7-5 and then 5-4 in the conference. Finishing 3rd, I got UCLA going 9-3 and 6-3 in the conference. And then finishing 2nd, I have USC finishing 10-2 and 8-1 in the conference. And then first place 10-2, 8-1 in the conference. But Utah has the head-to-head over USC, putting them in the Pac12 Championship. Next up, we have the Pac12 North. Finishing last, I have Washington State Cougars. I'd have them start the season off with the win against Idaho, but losing at Wisconsin. They do beat Colorado State, then they go on a massive losing streak from week 4 to week 10. But they do end the season winning at Arizona and then beating Washington in their Washington State rivalry. I think this will be back-to-back years. I'm not sure. But Washington State will get that win at home this year. And I won't be shocked if people hate on that pick. Finishing 5th in the North, I have California. Cal will start the season off 2-0. Then they will lose at Notre Dame and then win 2 more. And then they will lose the rest of the games, losing against Colorado, Washington, Oregon, USC, Oregon State, Stanford, UCLA. I could see this team going 6-6 and making a bowl game, but the schedule is kind of tough. You're playing Oregon, USC, UCLA, and then hosting like Colorado and Oregon State. If those games were home, I could see them winning, but since they're not, I have them losing those games. Finishing 4th in the North, I have Stanford. Stanford is a pretty solid team with some good recruiting this past years. I do have them making a bowl game this year. They will go 6-6. Their determining game is BYU at the end of the season. BYU could easily win that, but since it's at Stanford, I'm rolling with the trees. And then I have them also getting some good wins at UCLA, but losing at Utah. This team could be a lot better, but their schedule is also pretty tough, playing at Oregon, at Notre Dame, USC at home. This team is a 6-6, 7-5 team. So, yeah. Finishing 3rd, I got Oregon State going 6-6 as well. Oregon State is a team to me, like, very inconsistent. Most people have them losing to Boise State week 1, but they're at home week 1. I have them coming out, and it's going to be a high-scoring, like, 52-49 game, but I think it will be a win for them. But then I have them going to Fresno State and losing. Fresno State just plays teams tough, and I don't think that Oregon State will win at Fresno State. They then beat Montana State, lose to USC, Utah, Stanford. Beat Washington State, Colorado, lose to Washington. Beat Cal, beat Arizona State, and then lose to Oregon in the Oregon Showdown at the end of the season, but they still are bowl eligible. Finishing 2nd in the North, I got the Washington Huskies. I do have them going 8-4. Their toughest game, in my opinion, is probably Michigan State. I could see them beating Michigan State, but they do have it at home, but Michigan State is just a tough Big Ten team, and we saw what happened last year when they played Michigan. At the start of the season 2-0, then losing to Michigan State, beating Stanford, losing at UCLA, beating Arizona State, beating Arizona, beating Cal, beating Oregon State, losing at Oregon, losing at Washington State at the final game of the season. But this team could be either really bad like they were last year, but I see them taking a step up this season. Finishing 1st in the North, that it should come as no surprise, I have the Oregon Ducks. I'm going 10-2. They start out the season 6-0, when they could easily be 4-2. Like I said, I'm losing to BYU and Georgia. The reason I don't have them losing Georgia is because how much talent they lost last year. They lost Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Tavon Walker, George Pickens. But then I have them losing to UCLA, and then winning out until week 11, and then I have them losing to Utah once again. Utah just kind of owns Oregon, but Oregon with Bo Nix is going to be a different team in my opinion. I could see them going 11-1, or I could also see them going like 8-4. But the Bo Nix edition makes them 10-2 for me. Just to recap the North Division, I have Washington State finish 4-8 and then going 2-7. Finishing 5th, I have California going 4-8 and finishing 2-7. Finishing 4th, I have Oregon State going 6-6 and then 4-5. Finishing 3rd, also going 6-6 and 4-5. I got Stanford. Finishing 2nd, just kind of alone there. I got Washington going 8-4 and 6-3 in the conference. And finishing 1st, which is me no shock, is Oregon 10-2 and then 7-2 in the conference. The moment you guys have been waiting for, the Pac12 Championship. Oregon, Utah, rematch. Can Oregon get it done? No, they cannot get it done. I do think it will be closer though. Give me Utah 27-24. Thank you guys for watching part 4 of the college football predictions. If you haven't checked, I checked posted ACC yesterday and the Big 10 and Big 12 a couple days ago. If you haven't watched those, go check those out. If you like the video and subscribe. If you don't agree with something, tell me what you would disagree with. But then also comment who you have winning the Pac-12. SEC should be posted next, and then the American. And then I'm going to post my final rankings. I'm just so pumped for college football this year. But until then, see you guys later.